So we've got Amy Thompson on today. Thanks for coming, Amy.
No problem.
She is a professional hockey player at the minute on the GB program. Plays at East Grinstead Hockey Club as well. So we'll dive into all of that stuff. We'll talk about hockey, outside of hockey, what it's kind of like to be a professional hockey player, really. So if you could give yourself, your younger self, one piece of advice, what would it be?
One piece of advice I think would be that setbacks are normal. And I think setbacks sort of turn you into the player that you will be in the future. And like hardly anyone ever has had such a clean run, whether that's injury setbacks or selection setbacks. So it's normal. Don't be disheartened if you
And
have setbacks.
on setbacks, when was
Yeah.
your first one? How
My
did you
first
how did you
setback.
deal with it actually? Because I think
So
probably people don't realise.
my first setback. So I when I was 16, I was 5 foot, so I was tiny. So for reference now, I'm 5'7", so I've grown a bit. And I think I was just so much weaker than all the other girls in hockey. And I remember I didn't get past county level
Mm.
when I was 15. And that was like a bit of a dagger to the heart because I'd obviously been doing hockey for like my whole life, which was a bit embarrassing. But then the next year I got into England under 16. So it's like
Yeah,
the the setback was just such a little blip.
minor.
It was
Yeah,
just minor.
and you touched on you
Yeah.
started hockey
Young.
young. Where
Yeah.
where did that all begin, and how did that kind of begin?
So that all began when I was 5, so really young. I did loads of sports when I was younger. Parents threw me into tennis, football, um, lucky enough to ski as well. And then was just doing loads of summer camps. And I think growing up with brothers did help me coordination wise because I grew up with like kicking footballs in my face and having to like not hurt myself. Um, and so I just loved running around, I think, and
Mm.
I really just ended up liking hockey. And it was just like mixed with the boys as well, which was like fun as well when you're young. So started when I was 5 and then went to Cranley School
Yeah,
where hockey's big. And just sort of just carried on playing
yeah.
hockey along with other sports as well. But unlike tennis and things, I didn't really like doing an individual sport. I think being in a team environment was perfect for
Mm.
me.
And how did you find the other sports helped you? I guess hockey was
Yeah,
probably always number one, was it?
yeah. Hockey was always number one. I think doing the other sports was nice because it meant that I could still do a variety of other things, but not take it so seriously. And obviously, like if I don't know if you're playing a hockey game and you don't do well, you don't play well,
Mm.
like you're annoyed at yourself. Whereas me doing the other sports, I sort of didn't care as much. So it was like a escape
Breath of
in a
fresh air, a
way.
little
Yeah,
bit.
it
Yeah.
was nice. But
And
I did love other sports as well.
yeah, how was Cranley for your hockey in terms of, because obviously,
Yeah,
like you say, it's a very
yeah.
good hockey school too. But how was that for
Um,
your hockey?
Granny probably actually made my hockey career. I think I do have to give it to them. I got to give it to two coaches. Richard Organ, he was huge for my hockey. And his partner Mary Booth. Those two really took me under their wing. Like just doing extra sessions with me and stuff like that. They saw I had a bit of potential, so they sort of stuck with that. And also it helped that we had other really talented girls
Yeah,
at hockey in my year, and it's quite fun when your team does well. So I think that also made me enjoy it a lot more. The fact that we were doing well
yeah. And
as a team.
the two in particular,
Yeah,
Pippa Lock and Izzy Petter, is that
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So you've played with them through
yeah.
school, club,
Hmm.
and international
Yeah,
level. So what's that been like? I guess.
that's been amazing. So Izzy Petter, she was first person, probably my first ever friend, to be honest with you. We both started hockey at the same time when we were 5. My first ever hockey session, I think she was there,
Mm,
which is crazy. The fact that we're both now doing England seniors, and she's been to 2 Olympics now. She's absolutely smashed it. Um, and it's just quite special, I think, now that we're all sort of together. And Pippa Lock as well. We got
yeah,
in to the program at the same time, and I think to have 3 people from the same school team,
yeah,
both in an international team, is quite rare. And I think that's also because we just had amazing coaches.
yeah. And was there anything in particular that the coaches did that got the best out of you three, or was it kind of just creating a good culture and backing you through and saying you were good players and stuff like that?
I mean, I think, well, one of the coaches, Mary, she was coach for Premiership side, East Grinstead. So obviously you've got to be an amazing coach.
Mm.
And I think with them, when they saw potential, they really stuck with someone. Um, and just they would like go above and beyond for us, like making us join in with some of the boys' sessions, even sometimes if the boys didn't like it. Always checking in on us. Like they ended up being like my second parents in a way.
Mm.
Um, and also I think as well, they're just like any worries ever in the world, I went to them. There was such like a special relationship, and they really just pushed me, I think, to try and be the best player that I could
Yeah.
be, as cringe as it sounds. They really did do that. So I'm extremely grateful for them.
Good.
Yeah.
And then East Grinstead, obviously.
East
So you were at
Grinstead, yeah.
Surbiton beforehand.
Mhm. Mhm.
How was it going from, because they're obviously in the
Yeah.
same league, but going
Yeah.
from Surbiton to East
Yeah.
Grinstead, and I guess the setup at East Grinstead, what's that like?
Yeah. So they were quite different setups. I think at Surbiton I was 16 in my final year,
Mm.
and I was training with the first team, which I think as a 16-year-old was probably quite scary, and probably I wanted to leave because I think I found it a bit daunting
Yeah.
when, in hindsight, looking back, I think I was just young and I just wanted to sort of run around and have fun, and the girls were obviously taking it really seriously.
Yeah.
Um, and then decided to move to East Grinstead because Mary Booth was coach there, my coach from Cranley, and ended up absolutely loving it. Pippa
Yeah.
Lock was there as well.
Yeah.
Um, and I think I just gelled with the East Grinstead team
Yeah.
a bit more. And there was much more of like a sort of community there
Yeah.
for me in that
Enjoyed it a
team.
bit more.
Enjoyed it a lot more.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think I also just hadn't grown up enough at Surbiton. I'm sure if I'd stayed at Surbiton a few more years, I would have ended up loving it
Yeah.
just as much, to be honest with you.
And you've been quite successful at East Grinstead, haven't you, as a team and
Yeah,
personally?
yeah.
So just talk a little bit about, you were,
So
because you probably won't mention it actually, but you were player of the tournament at the, was that the Euros?
yeah, indoor,
Indoor
indoor.
Euros. Perfect.
Yeah. Well, I love indoor.
Mm.
I think indoor hockey is just not as big as it should be. Have you ever watched indoor hockey?
I've played indoor hockey as
Yeah.
well.
It's like it's so fast and so quick.
Yeah.
And it's just so good to watch. Like anything can change within a few seconds, and it's such a good game. And I've always just absolutely loved it. We were lucky at Cranny that we did it really young as well,
Mm.
and I've just always absolutely loved it. And EG always did so well at indoor. I think that's also why
Yeah.
I liked the switch. But yeah, ended up going to Euros and like grateful to get player of the tournament.
What
Self nom.
are those, I guess, feelings when you get
Yeah.
like, it's a big tournament, there's a
Yeah.
lot of players that
Hmm.
play. There's probably a lot of different emotions that go
Yeah.
through you at that point, but what are
Yeah.
you kind of feeling, I guess? Was that kickstart your then, I guess, international, not goals, but was that a
Yeah.
point where you realised I'd try and give it a proper go?
Yeah, I think so. I did the England under 16s and England under 18s.
Yeah.
And then after England under 18s, I got asked to play in China for the GB under 23s. And at that stage in my life, I think I was sort of getting into like going out, drinking, all of that. And then my weekends were taken up with hockey. So I think I wanted to do that a bit more than hockey in that stage of my life.
Mm.
And so I was never really thinking about doing the international stuff um, after that. And I think after uni, coming back into it, doing the Euros,
Yeah.
doing well at Euros, loving it as well, and then doing outdoor Euros, I thought, okay, I could see myself doing this as a job
Yeah.
because I just love it. And I was doing all right at it. So I
Mm.
thought, might as well give it a shot.
Is that a point where you then go full throttle, I guess, and you go,
Yeah.
right, I'm going to train
Mm.
harder than I've done, and I'm going to try
Yeah.
and how do you actually get into that stage of going from, okay, I'm
Mm.
not wanting to do it, to then actually trying to do it? Is it just
Yeah.
you keep performing at club hockey and then you get picked, or is it go
So
through a trial, or?
yeah, so it's a trial period. So in the Premiership teams, your coaches can put forward people
Mm.
to trial, and I think there are trials every must be like every 2 years or something
Mm.
like that. And there's also an EDP team, um, which is sort of like the second team that like a lot of younger girls are in. So I got put forward from my coach. They obviously asked if you want to do it, and I just thought, you know what, at the point I was hating my 9 to 5, and I just thought, you know what, like, let's just go for it. I'm going to regret it if I never go for it. Like, imagine 5 years on, if I never tried. And I was seeing all my mates at Olympics, and I just thought that would be so cool.
It would be, yeah. And then 9 to 5, obviously, you
Yeah.
did that for a year?
I did it for 2 years.
2 years, so
yeah, it was awful.
you
It
didn't
was
like it?
so bad. No, I hated it. I like can't sit still. I really struggle. And obviously a desk job, you're sat. And I was doing weird jobs as well. Like I was an immigration consultant, which was so rogue. I don't know why I did that. And then yeah, it was really tricky to balance that and prem hockey. So obviously I still wanted to stay in shape. So I was getting up at 5 a.m. to gym, and then would go to my 9 to 5. After my 9 to 5, go to club training, and EG is quite far from me. So I'd get back just before midnight. And you get to the end of the day and you're actually exhausted. Looking back on it, I actually don't know how I did it. And like gym is something I will never give up.
No.
So I don't know how I did it. And then got to the point where I actually got let go, which I was so happy about, in a way. And then I had 3 months before trials just to get so fit and try and gym and try and get in the best shape of my life, for these trials. And the trials were tricky because quite a lot of girls do trial, but there's quite a limited number of spaces. So I think it was 2 months the trials lasted, and it was quite scary being like, I have to perform every day. But also the coaches have seen you playing prem. I think they know what the girls are like. Anyway, but yeah, trials were intense. Don't want to go through that again.
It's probably, I mean, some people know it, but there's a lot of people, a lot of hockey players that are in that situation where they've actually got to have another job alongside it. And I think a lot of people maybe don't realise that there's a lack of money as well in it. So it's you're trying to play a professional sport and you're having to work another job as well. But there's a lot of girls and the boys that do that at the minute, aren't there?
So many. We get like 2 rest days a week. So in the rest days, a lot of girls do other things, but obviously being a professional athlete, it's maybe easier to get something on the side just because it looks good on the CV. But yeah, so at the moment I'm training to be a PT because I just do it anyway. Love gymming. And then also doing a few talks at schools. The day after I got a contract, I broke my kneecap. So I was in a straight leg brace for 10 weeks, no weight on it. And kneecap is a tricky one because obviously you need to bend your knee. And I couldn't really keep that leg going because I couldn't even tense my quad, otherwise it could pull apart the kneecap. So obviously I lost so much muscle. My leg looked like my arm straight after. And so I knew it was going to be a long rehab. So I haven't actually stepped foot on a pitch really since getting in. So my days look really different to other girls in the squad. It's just been rehab. So the first like 10 weeks, because I couldn't do really any lower body stuff, it was just upper body circuits, physio stuff, lifting weights, trying to keep my other leg going. And then once I was out of the brace, it was sort of teaching myself to walk again, which was weird.
That must be weird.
It was so weird. And as someone as well who, like, I really struggle to relax and sort of chill, and being told that I have to be off feet and all of that is so tricky. No. And just like someone putting your socks on for you in the morning and your shoes. It's just so weird. Like so weird. You can't do anything with yourself. I didn't have arms because you're on crutches as well. So it was a bad injury. I knew it was going to be bad as well. I knew it was going to be a long term.
How did you do it?
So it was just hockey balls hit straight into my kneecap in the middle of the pitch. It was just a freak accident. Like it had to have hit me at such a specific point in my knee. But yeah, I knew it was bad when it happened because I don't normally go down and stay down. And I went down and I was thinking like, I actually can't get up. And I knew it was quite bad. And yeah, literally the day before I got the contract, I was meant to be going to China to get my first caps. That was 9 months ago.
Crikey.
So yeah, it's just literally been a year's worth of gymming, trying to get my fitness back, and then I've had other setbacks through it. I've had my other leg got bone bruising because the right leg did everything for so long that the
Yeah,
right
of
knee sort of
course.
gave up as well. And that was a bad one. Back on crutches for that. So it's just been a year's worth of injuries. And I've never really had an injury longer than like 3 or 4 weeks no playing before
Really?
ever.
Crikey.
I've had other injuries. I broke my jaw, like nose and whatever, but like nose they just put a mask on me and I just
Yeah.
played, and then jaw just waited like 2 weeks and then just got back on the pitch.
H- How do you deal, obviously, probably
Yeah,
more so with the big one that you've got at the minute, but how do you
yeah,
deal with those? Because you're obviously seeing all the girls go out and
hmm
play hockey and
yeah,
you're wanting to play hockey
yeah,
yourself, and then you're sitting around not doing much. And what
yeah.
was it, 10 weeks you're in a knee
10
brace?
weeks was a straight leg brace with no weight.
You must have points where you're
Yeah,
struggle motivation, that kind of stuff.
yeah.
But how do you deal with all of that?
I mean, it's actually been harder like the last, I think, 3 months rather
Mm.
than the first bit, because the first bit you sort of just like, I didn't really know my timeline. I just sort of got on with it. I was so new to the group that
Yeah.
I was like, I can't be negative. I don't want to come into a group of girls that I've just joined and just complain the whole time. So I went in, and also it'd be awful for me if I went in negative. I like, it would just make me feel worse.
Yeah.
So I think like the first 4 months, I just like put my head down and just sort of went for it and was like, let's just try and smash this out. Let's
Yeah.
try and get a really strong upper body. Let's try and do all of this. But I think once the girls start playing games, so they had games out in India,
Mm.
and I remember watching it, and I couldn't bend my knee, and my leg was tiny, and I was just thinking, God, like it's going to be such a long time till
Yeah.
I'm able to get back out there. And then just, yeah, watching them go off and play a home pro league in front of a home crowd whilst I'm on crutches is not great either.
Yeah.
And then they're in Euros currently. They're playing at Euros.
Hmm.
And yeah, whenever selection comes out, it's a bit like, that's quite tough.
Mm.
And I think just not knowing how my knee's going to react to being back on the pitch as well. Like, will it ever be the same?
Mm.
Just the frustration of never being able to prove myself as
Yeah.
well. So I've like done all this hard work, and then bang, like
Gone.
gone. Gonna need to get my fitness back, gonna need to get all that back. Don't know how long that's gonna
Mm.
take. Um, but it's been really good for me, I think, to learn to just like chill the fuck out actually,
Yeah.
because I never have before, and this has forced me to just rest, be off feet,
Mm.
sort of just like take a step back, which I think in the grand scheme of things will be really good.
Yeah.
Um, Weirdly, but yeah, it's been tough. It's been a really, really, really tough year.
Have you got any advice for
Yeah.
kids going through? Because there's obviously
hmm
injuries, especially when
Yeah.
you're growing up as a kid. There's a
Yeah.
lot of kids that get injured.
Yeah.
Have you got, especially big ones? Is there
hmm
anything
Yeah.
that you could go, I wish I would tell myself this at the start of my injury
Yeah.
or through it?
I mean, I think it's just part of sport. Like you
Mm.
can't go through. I mean, hockey, like anyway, you can't go through without getting some form of injury. And I think it's good to learn
Yeah.
that you will be okay and you will get through it. And with stuff like me now, like I'm never gonna take for granted running, walking ever again when you have a period of time where you're so off feet. Um, so yeah, I think that's sort of what I would tell anyone going through
Yeah.
it as well.
Perfect. Teammates,
Yeah,
you've obviously, during being injured as well, I
yeah.
expect they probably have a big role to play, and there's probably
Huge role.
girls that
Yeah,
are injured as well that you
yeah,
can bond with, but how much of a
yeah.
difference does it make having them around?
So I was very lucky that um my like best mate in the team, Alex Mauser, she also was injured. She'd just done our hammy um, when I got injured as well. So we had the exact same schedule. So
Mm.
I would live at her house because obviously I needed someone to drive me and help me put my socks on and shoes on, and cook for me and stuff like that. So I was very lucky that I had her and I was able to live with her for those 10 weeks.
Mm.
And she actually made it fun. Like she made it really fun for me. And we just but obviously we get along so well.
Yeah.
And it's sort of just a distraction as well. Like there's always someone making you laugh and stuff like that. And then we were in it together for 6 months. And by the time she left, I was sort of getting more on the mend so I could do more stuff myself and all of that. But also just the teammates have been
Yeah.
unbelievable. Every time I'd go for a scan, they'd be constantly checking in on me. Also, like they'd only known me for like a few months as
Yeah.
well,
A couple of months.
and just whenever they see me in training, just asking how I am, and just also like just distracting me from
Yeah,
everything.
it's good to have that.
Yeah. And it's
That's
just it's the nicest group of girls as
yeah.
well. We all get along so well, and it's made me so excited to get
Back out
back into it. Like I can't wait for my first
there.
trip.
When are you? Do you have an
Hoping.
idea of when you're back into it all?
I would love, 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 love to get my first caps in the December Pro League, but I'm aware that that might be slightly pushing it. The next one after that is February,
Mm.
and I've got 3 months now just to sort of get myself back in. I've got nothing back to, I'm not allowed to do anything back to back for another 2 months, I think. And bone bruising is such a confusing one. It's the weirdest injury because you have to just do everything like so gradually,
And by the book, isn't it?
which is so frustrating.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's so
On
frustrating.
a positive note as
Yeah.
well, going back to signing your first
Yeah.
contract,
Yeah.
how does that? Because that you must obviously get to a point where you've worked your ass off to
Yeah.
get to that point, and then you
Yeah.
finally get to do it. Is it like a
Yeah.
sense of relief or excitement, or what's
Yeah.
going through your head then?
It was such a good day. I was absolutely bricking it as well. We were told that on Friday, out of the girls who trialled, that I think four four English girls were getting selected, and I think there were two, one Welsh and two Scottish, maybe. I could be wrong. So obviously there was like a bit of a big selection of girls to choose from. And it was nerve-wracking because I was just thinking, okay, if this doesn't go well, I don't have a job and I don't really know what to do with my life. I knew that I didn't want a 9 to 5 and I had to do something active,
Yeah.
but what was that going to be? So this was sort of like my only main option. And then all the girls were getting told, I was getting messages from people being like, God, like didn't get in. And then I was just thinking like, oh shit, like this is actually awful. And then when I finally got told, I think it was just the biggest sense of relief. Like literally one of the highest highs,
Yeah.
I think. And just it was such a full circle moment, I think, from doing hockey all my life. I thought I was actually like for once, I think like quite proud of myself,
Yeah, that's good.
which was nice. And then yeah, obviously highest high, and then the day after the lowest low in A&E.
Goodness, that's sport though, isn't it? Like
It
it's
is,
crazy.
yeah,
It's going like you said.
yeah.
It's like big ups and
It was
downs.
honestly, and I remember when I did it with my knee, I was basically, I like refused to believe it was something, even though I knew it was so bad. I was like, I refused to believe anything. So I didn't go to hospital that night. So I was like, let's just try and walk on this. And obviously I could hardly walk. And then woke up the next day at like 4 a.m. and
Mm.
from the pain, and I just look at my leg and it's huge. And I'm like, shit. Like slide down the stairs on my ass
Oh,
to get downstairs, get in the Uber. The Uber wheels me into A&E because I can't
oh
walk
God.
on my leg. And then I just remember the nurse coming in, and I stand up and she's like, no, 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 like, love, sit down, you've broken your kneecap. And I remember just being like, oh my God, this is just awful.
That you must like.
Um,
Yeah. To
and it
go
was just as well hers being like, yeah, like no gym, obviously no weight on your leg. And I automatically think, oh my God, like no exercise. I get all my endorphins from exercise. I rely on exercise so much.
Mm.
I've just trained so hard to get here, and now like I'm gonna be out for so long.
I guess that's where you've turned to your
Yeah,
recovery stuff,
yeah,
and it's probably where
mhm,
you've got a lot of joy out
yeah,
recently of
yeah,
doing all your different recovery things. But
yeah,
talk a little bit
yeah.
about them.
Shout out to Biowell if you're
There you go.
watching.
There you go.
Biowell Battery Power Station. I emailed them just like on a whim, and I was like, look, I think I was maybe 3 months in, and my kneecap still hadn't healed. And I had bone bruising on my knees, and I just thought like, I'm just in a bad way right now. And I was like, I'd heard stuff about hyperbaric oxygen for bone healing, and also just for other things like help sleep, which I'm awful at. And then they have like red light therapy, which reduces inflammation, cryotherapy, which is unbelievable. You're at minus whatever for 3 minutes in this chamber. And I just remember thinking, like, oh, I need to just get involved in something. Even if it can just like speed up my rehab by a little bit. And they've been absolutely amazing with me, so welcoming, really looked after me. And since I've been doing my recovery with them, I've noticed so much change. Even just like mentally as
Yeah.
well. Like their services have been unbelievable. And been healing quickly. I think my left leg now is completely healed. Had right bone bruising, that's completely cleared up. I mean, I'm sure that it probably wasn't the only thing that helped
Yeah.
as well. I've got amazing physios at GB that have really helped me, but I honestly would recommend anyone that's wanting to get back quickly after an injury 100% use those kind of things. Like there's a
Yeah.
reason why like Premiership football teams have access to all these things because they're so good.
Mm,
So I would highly recommend that to anyone who's got an injury.
good. And then on mindset a little
Yeah.
bit, do you reckon you'll have a different mindset
Yeah.
or outlook on life, or
Yeah.
especially when you go back to playing, would any of it
Oh
change, or will
yeah.
you still be pretty similar to what you were like before?
Oh my god, everything would have changed completely. As I said before, I think not taking things for granted. Even though I say that I'm never gonna complain about fitness testing, like I probably
You
will.
probably will, yeah.
Probably will. But just like and just things like the first time I ran, like the smile on my face, and I was like, it's actually such a blessing to be able to
Yeah.
run and like move my body and stuff like this. So I think my mindset will completely change. And I think hopefully if when I get my first caps, I think it will be way more special. Um and just yeah, I think it will just completely change the way that I think about sport, my job,
Yeah.
like being grateful for movement, gymming, stuff like that. So I think it
Yeah.
will completely change.
And do you think that those, I guess, switch off
Yeah.
methods as well,
Hmm.
like PTing and
Yeah.
um, recovery and
Yeah.
things like that, do you think did you do a lot of that beforehand, or was it very just hockey 24/7?
Literally none of that. It was just I mean, I gymmed before a lot.
Yeah.
It was just like gymming, training. I didn't do any really other
Yeah.
things on the side. Um, but I think it's so important to have that, like so important to have that escape. Otherwise, especially around selection periods, all you're thinking about is hockey. All you speak about all day is hockey. You're
Mm.
surrounded by hockey people. Having that escape is so important.
Yeah.
Like I live in London. I live an hour and a bit away from training, and even though it's far, I get home and I'm out of it.
It's quite
Like
nice.
so nice. I live with housemates that don't know about hockey, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I come home and they don't care how my day
That's
was,
good.
which is actually so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And you've done a bit of coaching as well at East
Yeah,
Grinstead.
I love
So
coaching.
yeah, that's good. So
Yeah.
does it give you a different outlook on the way you play, or is it just quite nice to be able to give back a little bit to kids you're coaching?
I think I think it is just quite nice to give back in a way,
Mm.
and it's also just nice being around kids. Like I've always loved working with kids. I'm like probably got the mental age of a I don't know 15-year-old, so I probably do quite like it. But I've always loved it, and it's just fun as well. Um, and it's quite sweet as well. Sometimes like the little kids are like, "Oh, like, do you play for England? Do you all of that?" Like they sort of like look up to you a bit, which is quite cool.
Yeah.
Um, I know it is just quite nice. I think give back and just sort of teach them stuff and make them like hockey.
Yeah.
I think.
It's almost, you probably won't say it, but a bit of a role model to them as well. So in without trying to pump your tires
Yeah.
up in that sense, but have you had role models yourself where you've looked up to girls that are playing, or it could be coaches in general, but um put you on the spot a little bit.
Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest. I think when I was growing up, the media around hockey was pretty awful.
Mm.
So, so it was sorry, that's a strong way to say it. It wasn't pretty awful. It wasn't amazing. Um, there wasn't that much like getting to know older players. There
Mm.
wasn't that much like broadcasted about them. And I think I didn't really look up to anyone until I sort of started playing with them. So when I was like 15, 16, playing with some of the international girls who would like take me under their wing. Shout out to Sophie Bray and Laura Roper. They were really big role models to me, and they sort of like teach you the ways of like international hockey at a young age.
Yeah.
So by playing with those players, I sort of got a bit of a taste of what mindset you had to have to be a professional athlete and
What
all of those sort of
what
things.
kind of things do they
Yeah.
do, and how do they go about things that makes you or the things that you notice that I guess younger
Yeah.
kids as well would benefit from
Yeah.
knowing?
I think it's just the discipline.
Yeah.
Like when I played on the pitch with them at a young age, they were just so disciplined. And I think just just everything they said was so wise. I remember just thinking they'd say something, I'd be like, wow. And I think as well, just like them just like teaching you how to be like the best player you can be with your attributes. So I've got long arms.
Hmm.
So they would always, I don't know, like let me do whatever I wanted at the back, like really work on me being the best defender I could, like play to my strengths, and things like that. So I think they were like really influential
Yeah.
in me becoming like the player that I am.
Yeah, definitely. And then aspirations going forward.
Aspirations going
You
forward.
mentioned LA,
LA
obviously.
2028
Yeah, obviously the
Olympics.
Olympics, but I
Yeah.
think as well it's you've probably got a few little
Yeah.
goals in between then that you're trying to
Yeah, 100%.
strive for.
Um, so I think every hockey player, their goal is an Olympics. I think that's just
A
like
given.
that's just a given.
Yeah.
And I remember, what was it? 4 years ago, Izzy Petter, she came back from, where was the Olympics 4 years ago? Was it Tokyo?
Yeah.
Yeah,
20.
Tokyo. She had like a little like welcome back party, and she came back with her medal, and I was just thinking, I was like that would be pretty cool.
Mm.
And I remember speaking to her mum, and her mum was like, surely you've got to be with her on the pitch one day, so you both get one. And I was thinking, like, that would be cool. Let's try to do that. But I think, yeah, every hockey player, it's just a given that you want to go to an Olympics. There's obviously unbelievable tournaments, like there's Euros, there's
Mm.
World Cup, all of that, but an Olympics is really
Yeah.
what you want to go to. So I'm hoping to get to Olympics. The
Wait,
last one would be 2032. So that's pushing it
how would you
with
be
how
then?
my body is going to be. But hopefully it will be in an all right way. But no, those are the goals at the moment. And obviously just for Prem as well, to get to Prem finals. That's sort of like the best part of Prem.
Yeah.
It's all of that.
What's the standard like of the, because like
Yeah.
most people go it's club hockey, but
Yeah.
actually it's like pretty much most of the teams
Yeah.
are professional teams in a way, if that's right in saying.
Yeah. There's in the league, there's like 5 teams that have the majority of the national players in. But then even so, like the other teams, like there's never a huge difference between the top
Mm.
and the bottom. There's always unbelievable competition, but obviously it's just so different playing at an international level than a
Yeah.
Premiership level. Like I think I'm gonna get a shock of my life
Yeah.
when I play my first proper international game. Um, just with the intensity of it, like even like trials and training with the international girls is like the intensity is ridiculous. Um, but I think that's international
Is that
sport.
quite not draining, but
Yeah,
I guess you go from maybe being not as intense to
yeah,
intense all the time. Is there ways in which you
yeah.
kind of try and stay mentally fresh, or it's just what happens?
I think it's honestly just what happens. Like a
Yeah.
Prem game, I can stay on for the whole game and I'm all right. Whereas an international game, you're rolling subs every like 5 minutes, and by the end of the 5 minutes, you literally can't breathe.
Knackered.
Like you're absolutely knackered. So like in a Prem game, I could just sort of do something, and this sounds awful, but like I would stay on mainly for, well, I mean, I come off occasionally, but it's not as
Frequent.
intense.
Mm.
But that's just every sport, isn't it? I guess international is just a bit of a step up.
Yeah,
Um, but I love Prem, like I love it. It's so fun.
that's good.
And you're with like all your mates as well. Like, I mean, obviously the international girls you get along so well with, but there's a bit more leeway to sort of
Enjoy
have a
yourself
bit more
a bit
fun.
more.
There's not like a European medal depending on it. When you're playing. So yeah,
Yeah,
it is a lot of fun.
good. I want to go back briefly to obviously you're talking about all the fun you're playing with hockey, which is
Yeah.
awesome. But at one
Hmm.
point you gave up for a
Yeah,
year,
I did.
and I think there's a lot of kids that go,
Yeah.
I don't want to do this anymore,
Yeah.
and kind of get to terms with that's actually okay sometimes, and sometimes
Yeah.
you need a bit of time away from the game to realize that
Hmm.
you want to come back in a year's time or
Yeah.
something. But
100%. I I took a year out when I was 19, and as I said, I think I was just like loved going out, loved all of that. It was like exciting to me, and I remember being at school missing like loads of 18s because I was just playing hockey on the weekends. Um, and also I really wanted to go to uni as well. Um, and I think even though I've got into like the seniors quite late,
Mm.
I got in at 24. Um, I am so glad that I was able to do my 3 years at uni. It was like the best 3 years of my life. And I think I was so refreshed coming out of it that I was just sort of ready to trial to do all of that. And it did actually give me a really nice break, I think. But then the other side of it is that if I'd maybe tried when I was younger,
Mm.
could have maybe gone to an Olympics. I could have maybe got that behind my belt. But I think just the people that are in my life at the moment, my friends, have all been from
Yeah.
uni and through like school experiences and stuff like that. So
It's a good
I am glad I did
perspective.
it that way.
Good
Hmm.
perspective to have on that, because I think
Yeah,
to understand that
yeah,
hockey is
exactly.
obviously a game that you enjoy
Yeah.
playing, but it is at the end of the day
Hmm.
a game as well. So
Yeah,
you've, I guess, put
yeah.
your
I've had the best of both
friendships.
worlds. I've
Yeah,
like had my fun, and I still
exactly.
have fun now, but just
Yeah.
not as much fun. Like that kind of fun.
Yeah,
Um,
you just got to grind on the hockey
yeah,
now, a couple of
exactly,
Olympics, and then go back to doing it.
exactly,
Perfect.
exactly.
Um, just to finish,
Hmm.
we always ask if you wanted
Hmm.
to leave one message for people listening, what would that be?
One message. Um, I'm gonna say
You can take
um
your time. It's all right.
a message for people listening is that I think it's probably never too late. Honestly, I'm quite late to do all of this. And very nearly didn't as well. Um, and I'm so glad I didn't because I think I would have really regretted it.
Mhm.
And as I said before, I think just like if you have setbacks, if you have all of that, then just don't be discouraged by that. And yeah, I think that's my message.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
No problem.
Thanks.